Good evening, everybody. Welcome on in. Okay, should be live. Let's make sure we are. It's saying we're not. That's weird. We ought to be. Yeah, so OBS has been giving me some issues tonight. This doesn't particularly surprise me, but c'est la vie. All right, okay, it looks like we are in fact live now. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right, so I asked all of y'all to vote on when we would have a Discord little soiree where I answer any questions and all questions you send me, and I either, tell the truth or I take a drink. Something like that. Nothing crazy. Just an AMA. Because I've been getting a lot of questions, and a lot of them are ones where it would be better not to answer them on YouTube. So I think if you catch my drift, it's going to be a little bit more of the... a lot of the questions are going to be a bit more of the explicit nature. So to that point, I guess what I would say is if you're looking for that kind of content, or if you're looking to know if you've had a question, a burning question you'd like to ask me of that nature, you'll have that chance. And the poll went up earlier today. I was hoping to get 5% subscribers on it. I did not get that. It's become something of a tradition. I did this back when I was on Twitch, and I see it fit to do this again on YouTube. What I got was 36 people voted, and we had a tie with at approximately 39% for each. 1800 Hawaiian Standard Time, that is 6 p.m., which would equate roughly to 8 p.m. Pacific Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So I think European audiences, I think you did not vote enough. But it was tied between tomorrow and Christmas Day. Now, I don't think it'll happen, but if we do get to this point in a few days' time, I mean, it would take a pretty big jump in subscribers. This is still an option. So because there's a tie, I get to make the final call. I think we're going to do it tomorrow, 6 p.m. Should have no real major issues. It's going to be on my Discord channel. So if you want to ask me anything that's on your mind, yes, including that question, your ability to do that is going to be on my Discord channel. So the way you get on my Discord is you click the link there, right there in the comments, okay? You're going to read the rules, and you click the little green check mark. And then you're going to go to the role select channel, and you're going to pick out all your roles. And that's how you get to the Discord. That's how you get everything in there that you're going to need. Okay? So that's really about it, all I had to say. The reason I'm coming from you so late today is I actually went down to the pool. I was going to do a little YouTube short about just chilling at the pool and, how to win at life, basically. Just a nice little short thing. Well, I found some of my friends down there. They were having some drinks, having a good time, and grilling some ribs and chicken and burgers, and they invited me over. Well, so that kind of put a kibosh to that. Not saying, y'all don't mean a lot to me, but come on, free meat? Free meat. Oh. Salty. It's tasty, but salty. Anywho. So that is going to be the results of the first poll. Once again, we will be live tomorrow at 6 p.m. So that is in 22 hours and 40 minutes. In between that, I've been invited to go out to the beach tomorrow. May end up heading back to meet up with my modeling director for Simon in the midday. We'll see where that goes, or something of that accord. So I may end up actually, for the first time ever, taking the train all the way back. That might be fun. We'll see. Should be a good time. Should be a real good time, because I think I can take... I know there's a bus that goes from the beaches on the west side of the island to the metro rail station at Kapolei, take the train to the stadium or to Aiea, and then take the 53 or the 54 back up to Red Hill. And then from there, that gets you back into the town. I'll figure out the transit bits of that. Public transit's got a very good coverage map here, but it's very slow. So as long as you're fine with moving on Hawaiian time, you can get anywhere on this island with public transit. But if you want to get somewhere quickly, yeah, you kind of either need a car or you need a very good set of legs with which to bike with. So, anywho, that is it for this one, unless we've got any comments. I wasn't really expecting a big audience for this. Obviously, it's late, but I wanted to give you guys a live stream result, because I know there are some of y'all who are maybe interested in this Discord thing, or maybe don't see a reason to join the Discord. Well, here you go. This is one. I really do like using the Discord as a way to be a bit more open to my audience. A lot of the gaming stuff that I used to do, what I found is that, I mean, I can kind of do them simultaneously, but I really do prefer just doing that in the Discord chat, where it's way more chill. I don't got to worry about, having to present a show so much as it is. We just chilling, we're vibing. Other people can play their games. They can come, they can go. And, if there's only 2-3 people that show up with that, so be it. But it's a good time. Anyway, that is going to be it for me tonight. Tomorrow, depending on what time we go out to the beach, I may or may not have a stream for you. I think I should be able to get one. If I don't, we're going to do the Discord soiree in the evening. So we will see. I've got a couple consultations that I'm going to tease. One is tier ranking different exercises. That should be a good one. One is someone's asked me about my take on the whole Luigi Mangione fiasco. The whole thing with, the guy who whacked the healthcare CEO. Interesting fella. He was a jack dude who lived out here in Hawaii, and by all accounts seemed to have quite a lot going for his life. So very interesting. That will be a very interesting case, and see if there's any societal or political changes that stem from that shooting, whether or not they're good or bad. Anyway, other notes. I already talked about the state of the channel. I didn't really get a whole lot of feedback from y'all yet, so we're going to carry on, and if I get no feedback, I'm going to do what I want to do. Went down to Costco today. It was nice. Did it on my bike, because no, you don't need a car to get around here. You can get by just fine on a bike. It takes some effort. It's not easy. It's not ultimately, and is it always the most convenient? No, but it can be done. One other thing, I think I mentioned this earlier, but just to reiterate, over the next couple of days, I'm going to attempt to cycle around the entire island of Oahu. I'm thinking it's going to be the 26th of December. That is going to be a lot of fun. That will be roughly 133 miles, give or take. I expect to burn somewhere around the range of 8,000 to 10,000 calories that day. Should be a pretty good time. I think we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. I did the Honolulu Century ride not that long ago, and that was, granted, I had there were more rest stops, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit cautious about gauging how I feel, and stopping for a snack and a drink every now and then. But there are You go along the road, you hit a 7-Eleven, you stop in for a musubi and I don't know, a fucking coconut water, right? Doesn't take much. But I think I should be able to do it in roughly 10. So it's 10, I think 10 hours of ride time at an average of 13.3 miles an hour is very doable. But I'm going to want to take breaks, right? The whole point of going around the island is you're going to get to see the entirety of the island. I think I'm going to try and make a lot more progress on the front half of the day where it's a little bit cooler. The sun's not up yet. If I can get in the shadow of the Waianae Range early in the day, it works out better. Get around in a point before the sun gets directly overhead because there's no shade out there. And this haole is going to torch. I become rare beef quite quickly. But that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we can get some video of that. Might try and make an actual video out of it instead of just like a collection of streams. That's really going to be... We'll see. It's going to be dependent on how if I can get like an audio input for that. We'll see. I'd like to be able to do that. I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do that. Other odds and ends, I believe that is going to be it. Oh, tomorrow is a squat day, if you guys are curious. No, you're not going to get to witness it live. Let's see, we did... Oh yeah, I still wasn't feeling good that day. The last squat day I did, I failed on 365, but I was clearly going heavier. So that's going to mean tomorrow's squat day is, I guess I can choose to go heavier or lighter here. I got some thinking to do on that one. I think I'm probably leaning towards hypertrophy, kind of sticking around that 315 to 335 weight range and sets of 10 plus. Oh. Squats. They'll always get you. Anyway, looks like chat is... God, 8 concurrent viewers. Chat is quite quiet. Do y'all have anything else for me this evening? Because if not, I'm going to maybe nibble on some more ribs, have a little salad perhaps, and then get the fuck to bed. Because I stayed up way too late playing Railroad Tycoon last night. Fun little household tip. If you see a roach in your house and you want to get rid of roaches, mix something sweet like sugar, or I use peanut protein because I just don't keep sugar in my house. Borax or boric acid, which is a great just multi-use tool kind of chemical to have around, and baking soda. You mix them together into a powder, and roaches, ants as well, cannot tell the difference between boric acid, baking soda, and sugar. And what roaches do is they'll step on it, and the boric acid or the baking soda will cling to their legs, and then they'll try to lick it off. And when they do that, they consume it, and baking soda makes their stomachs go. So this is fun. You torture your roaches. There you go. So there's a little household cleaning tip. And before you say, ew, you have roaches, it doesn't get cold enough for any of the bugs to die here. It's like South Florida. You just kind of deal with bugs. It's just kind of reality of living here. Yeah, if you want a place that's genuinely like insect free in this fucking state, get ready to pay $3,000, $4,000 a month in rent. And well, my YouTube channel is nowhere near big enough to afford that. Chemo Sutra says that works good on ants. Yeah, it does. I haven't seen any roaches since I put it down, so it's a pretty good sign. They're definitely a little bit more active at night, so I think the question's going to be how it does tonight. But yeah, borax is such a useful thing to have. Like 10 out of 10 would recommend. Roaches and ants love peanut butter too, so you could sprinkle a little bit of baking soda and borax on peanut butter, just kind of put a real thin smear of it just somewhere on like your countertops. They will go nuts for that, or on your floor. Roaches are huge and plentiful in Hawaii, and they fly. Yeah, so I moved here from South Carolina. There's a reason they're called palmetto bugs. South Carolina is the palmetto state. So like people freak out about roaches here, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? It's Hawaii. Like 70 degrees is the coldest it ever gets here. They're going to exist. Kimo Sutra, are you from the Aloha State? Notice you put the Okina in, which usually means you either are from here or you've at least visited enough times to know to do that. Also, my apologies if you've been watching all this time and you've heard me butcher God knows how many different Hawaiian words. It's a fun language to try and learn. I've been trying to pick up a little bit of Olelo. It's not an easy language to learn. The syntax and the grammar of Olelo Hawaii matches a lot of Polynesian languages. I think it's like if you go to New Zealand and you listen to the way the Maori talk, that language has a lot more in common with Olelo Hawaii than anything else. I live in Texas now, though. I gotcha. It does take time. Fuck. Well, this is the one, and in that case, I'd love to get your perspective on this, because, right, I'm very, very clearly white. I'm wearing a spray tan because I had a modeling shoot yesterday, so I look like Donald Trump right now. Forgive me for that. That is just kind of, it's part of the game. But I feel like there's a fine line between trying to be respectful of Hawaiian culture in general and trying to pronounce things right, and you try too hard and you come off as that one kind of cringe Hallie who tries too hard. So I feel like it's a difficult balance you gotta do. Maybe I got that wrong, but either way, Hawaiian culture is fucking sick, man. Like it's pretty freaking cool. There's a lot of pride for that here, especially what you notice is especially in places maybe you wouldn't suspect it, like at the shipyards and military bases in particular. There are a lot of people who are like, they are super, super proud Hawaiians, like legit ethnic Hawaiians, but they are most patriotic motherfuckers you've ever seen. They are all about the red, white, and blue in both instances here. They feel very strongly about that. It's interesting to see and talk to them. I think most locals can tell when you're genuine there, and that's when it makes it. I mean, that's good to know, honestly. To me, and it's also like, you know, right? I'm not a dumbass. I'm not gonna go out to Waianae and fuck around out there. I know that's generally just a place I'm better off not going. I'm gonna leave that alone, except for when I bike through it. But I have to do that to bike the entirety of the island. But it's like it's that kind of thing. Like don't just stay in. Oh God, Waikiki. Okay, I will say that is probably apart from falling in love with spam because people here actually know how to cook it correctly. I think the one most local thing about me is that I fucking hate Waikiki. I have to go there because my modeling director works at an art gallery down there. So I have to go down there from time to time to talk with him and like get a spray tan. There's a spray tan salon that he likes down there, and I trust him with decisions like that. But I cross Alawai and I'm just like, traffic, tourists, fucking loud ass trolleys with drunk people. Ugh. Oh, bro, you're okay. I got a fun story about Samoans, man. I got a really cool story about Samoans. I was doing, there's a ride. There's the ride for Zach Monago that goes on every year here for Hawaii Bicycling League. It's a ride in honor of someone who got killed riding their bike here on Oahu. But we finished the event. This was in like maybe late May, early June. we finished the event, and this storm was coming through from the ocean on the leeward side, which it doesn't normally go like that. I think it was a Kona that was coming in, and I saw them clouds coming. I'm like, fuck, I gotta find cover, because I had to bike. At that time, I was living in Aiea, so I had to bike all the way back to Aiea, and I'm like, there's no way I'm doing that and getting absolutely drenched. So went over to, this was near Kaka'ako, and went over to a little pavilion there near the ocean to wait it out. And as it happens, right, there was a little, pauhana after the ride with the food and all that, and I'd been given a bunch of malasadas to take home with me, because they had too much food. So I took them and I had them in my bag. I go over there. There was just like 6 or 7 Samoans just fucking chilling underneath the gazebo, kind of waiting out the storm as well, and firing up the grill and just cooking like sausages and chicken and ribs and oysters and shit. And we're talking, and all of a sudden I pull out the malasadas, like, yo, do y'all want some of these? They're like, hell yeah. And they started like insisting that I eat with them. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm biking all the way back to Aiea afterwards. I'm going to burn it off. But fucking Samoans know how to cook, man. I mean, it makes sense, because you look at some of those motherfuckers. They're huge. Like, Jesus Christ, man. Some of the, like, Samoans, Tongans, Fijians, there's something in that Polynesian DNA that's, like, made them fucking built to be the biggest motherfucking rugby players you've ever seen. Oh, my God. There's some big motherfuckers, but predictably, they know how to cook, man. Good, yeah, fucking good grinds, am I right? Como mai, indeed, yeah. It was a good time, though, so I brought over... Dude, malasadas are good. I'll tell you what I love here more than anything else is ube flavored shit. So when I was a kid, we were stationed in Okinawa because my dad was Air Force. And in Okinawa, like, ube is sometimes referred to as Okinawan sweet potato. So things like ube ice cream, daifuku, mochi, those were things I got exposed to as like a 6-7-year-old kid, and then didn't have for like 20 years. I come out here and it's everywhere, and I'm like, oh my God, it's like kids. Like, it's the whole childhood. It's such an evocative childhood flavor. I'm like, I miss this so much. Big but can't cook, can eat though. I can cook well enough for myself, but I cook for macros in particular, right? So like, again, to be a runway model requires a few dietary sacrifices. This doesn't happen on its own, but you have to know how to, if you want to look like this, only eating out, you're going to be miserable. You have to know how to cook, not just properly, but cook tasty enough foods that have the right macro blend to give you the right kind of body. It's blown up now. His thing back in Hawaii. Yeah. Well, okay, so maybe I should clarify. You can probably find it in places on the mainland. Like, I'm sure if you went to find a Hawaiian restaurant in Vegas, yeah, you'd be okay there. It's the ninth island. But, dude, where I used to live in rural middle of nowhere, South Carolina, no, you weren't fucking finding ube. Now, granted, in rural South Carolina, you're going to get great regular sweet potatoes, like American sweet potatoes, because that's a Native American crop. I mean, that goes back millennia of the Deep South in particular. It's blown up now too, yeah. Now, I will say, I need to tier rank foods again. I haven't done that in a while. Now that I've lived here in Hawaii for a while, but Hawaii is bare minimum a top 5 state. I fucking love it here. And dude, what's wild is I've had friends tell me, oh God, food out in Hawaii sucks though. And I'm like, let me guess, did you stay in around Waikiki and Ala Moana the entire time? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, there's your problem. It's like, did you actually, like, the one Hawaiian experience is the super overpaid luau you went to? You never went and got yourself a mixed plate lunch? You never went and got yourself a malasada? You never went and got yourself like actual legit decent poke from like a Foodland, or times if you don't have the money for a Foodland? My favorite's actually at, there's a place in Kalihi that does it real well. But like, you know, for a fucking tourist ain't going to Kalihi. You'd be hard pressed in the Carolina. Oh, bro, dude, the one Asian mart in the near the big city near my town was in Augusta, Georgia. I had to cross state lines just to find Asian food. It's the worst impression out the true Hawaii. Well, that's the thing. That's one of the things I've been very grateful to have here. So, you know, it's not the nicest apartment in the world, but because it's a one bed, so my bedroom, what y'all see here is kind of the living room. But I got rid of the sofa, so I can plop down a queen size blow up mattress. Got me one of them nice ones from Costco. Brought that fucker back up on my bike. Just saying, you can live without a car here. It's not easy, but you can do it, and I've proved that. But because of that, I can offer my friends a place that's actually, it's, you know, a little further away from the town. Like, okay, you want to see actual, like, the rest of at least Oahu, if nothing else. My bro came out here. We even got to go to the Big Island, and that was a blast. They wanted to spend a lot more time partying in Kona and Hilo, and I'm like, why? I mean, Hilo and Kona are great towns, don't get me wrong, but it's like, if you're on the Big Island, go see all the natural shit. Like, even among the islands of Hawaii, the Big Island is super unique. There is things you can see on that island that literally don't exist anywhere else on the planet. Like, fuck, we went and saw, like, the best thing about that trip was probably going, and we were actually, I walked there. It was a morning. I just did this because I felt like doing it. Other people ended up joining me. Went and did a hike to the lava fissures near Pahoa, because that's where the most recent eruption happened. It was, I think, 2018, 6 years ago. That sound right? But there are still some open fissures where molten rock is pouring out steam. I mean, you know, like, this is the newest land that exists on the planet. How fucking cool is that? Big Island, oh my god, I love it. Yeah, I've only been to the Big Island twice, and for a combined time of maybe 4 or 5 days, but I adore it. If I had the money, I'd consider moving. I could probably, if I really wanted to, I could probably pull off retiring in Hilo. I could do that. I wouldn't want to, I mean, I love small towns. I lived in a small town, but there's part of me that would want to live in at least a slightly bigger city, just because it'd be nice to have a gym and, like, socialize with people every so often. But plus, I don't know, I really liked Hilo. The other guys seem to prefer Kona more, and I will admit, Kona's a lot better weather. Hilo is super rainy, but I love how lush and green Hilo is. Also, the farmer's market, man, we got there the first day. We walked there from the airport. That was a good time, actually. I enjoyed the fuck out of that, because when you walk somewhere as opposed to biking somewhere, you get a way better idea of how the city really is. You drive by everything, you don't really understand it. But we were walking through Hilo, went down to the farmer's market, getting fresh apple bananas and papayas and persimmons. Love it. Fucking love it. Oh, you went to high school in Kona. Badass. Fucking badass. Bro, Chemo Sutra, if you're not on the Discord, definitely fucking hit that up. I would love to talk more with you about this in the future. Just because it'd be cool to, it's cool. You learn stuff from people who either are locals or were locals in your case, that you wouldn't otherwise do. I mean, obviously, as far as the Big Island's concerned, one of my bucket list items is to go see all 6 of the 8 islands you can visit. I don't really think, unless I do some next tier networking, I don't think Niihau is going to happen. And I'd rather not get my legs blown off by a random mine, so I'm not going to Kaho'olawe. But otherwise, I would like to see I definitely want to see Kauai. My brother has a friend who's from there, so I need to hit him up for Rex. I really have enjoyed the Big Island a lot. Maui, I want to go do eventually. I need to figure out a legit charity. If I'm going to do Maui, I want to do charitable work to help out Lahaina. I feel like that's the right thing to do. A while ago, I've just been a lurker. Oh, okay. Shoot, bro, I'm glad you said something, man. I do want to do Lanai. I know it's mostly owned by Larry Ellison, and there isn't that much to do there, but apparently Lanai City's got a little bit of charm to it, and there's something called Garden of the Gods in Lanai where I think it's a little bit north of the city. It's basically almost like a lunar landscape type deal because the island itself is really dry. I don't think Lanai has a lot of precipitation. I think most of it gets caught. Like from the trade winds, it would make sense. It's going to get caught by the mountains in Maui, so Maui's going to take most of that. It's the same reason I think Kaho'olawe doesn't have. Kaho'olawe barely has any plants on it at this point. Granted, the Navy and the Air Force might be why, because of the whole, dropping ordnance on that island. But I'd like to visit there. Eventually, I will do Molokai, but I've heard if you're gonna go there, like that is proper rural. If you want to go to Molokai, basically, like you should be prepared to go camping, which sounds like a fucking blast, to be honest. I went out to the Chisos in Big Bend in Texas, which, by the way, if you're in Texas, did you say you were in Texas? You live in Texas now. Have you done Big Bend National Park yet? Because if you haven't, bro, I'm telling you, go to Big Bend National Park. Yes, it is a massive pain to drive out there. You go through hours of nothing. Like the nothing, you get to advanced levels of nothing in that part of Texas. And then you get out to the national park, and then you still have like 40 miles of nothing until you get to the front of the Chisos. But dude, Big Bend is incredible. Okay, so if you loved how the stars were super bright and vivid on the Big Island at night, right? Because the Big Island, it's where the observatories are. I think there's some on Maui as well. But because it's up on Mauna Kea, I think they have the observatories up there. It's a very low light zone. The only other places in the U.S. that are that level of darkness where you can see like galactic light is Alaska, of course, but also Texas. If you go out to the Chisos Mountains, it is the best stargazing in the contiguous 48 states. So 10 out of 10. Recommend Big Bend. Recommend if you're going to do Big Bend, do it with a friend, just because it is wild. It's you're going to be up there. It can get cold. There are mountain lions, scorpions, a few other, rattlesnakes, a few other things you need to be aware of. But get a friend. I know one. I don't know where in Texas you are, but I know some friends that would go out and do that, and you'd have a blast with them. Be ready to hike though, because that's like getting up into the Chisos. You're hiking into that mountain range, for sure. Do Big Bend National Park at least once before you die. That's not just to Chemo Sutra here. That's to fucking everyone. Big Bend National Park is incredible. It's a hidden gem. And then once you're done, once you've had your fill of hiking and camping, you go to Boquias Hot Springs, and that's right on the Rio Grande. It's this little hot spring that is adjacent to the Rio Grande, and you can sit in it, get nice and warm, and then when you start heating up a bit too much, you plop over the little railing and you go right into the river. Just hang on, the river water will cool you off, and then you're good. Especially if you go in the summer, because Jesus, it gets hot. Once you get into the Chisos Mountains, you'll be cool. If you go in December or January, pack winter gear because you'll be cold up there. It's at elevation, but it's a good time. I remember we went there. We were chilling in the hot springs, and this Mexican sheep farmer from across the river pulled his flock up to the river. It was just letting the sheep drink right out of the river. It was really cool. They were just waving across. He waved back. Nothing crazy. It was just really cool. It was just Mexican sheep farmer just doing his thing, leading his flock. It's nice. You don't need a camper. Okay, so we went backpacking up there. So we had a tent. We had sleeping bags, and then, basically the way it works was he had the tent and sleeping bags set up on his pack, and then I was the water mule, so I carried a lot of water up there because it's that kind of hiking and backpacking. Ton of fun, but you will need the proper supplies if you want to camp overnight. Now, there are little lodges at the base of the mountain range, so you could just do that. You could go in and out and do a hike. Like, you could hike Emery Peak. You'd be exhausted by the end of that, but you'd have burned a ton of calories. Definitely a great time, no matter what you do. But you get up into the mountains, there's a meadow near Emery Peak, and that's where we did stargazing. I remember we sat there and we each played one song before we went off to bed while we were stargazing. I forget what he chose. It was a good one. I think it was a Sturgill Simpson song. I chose Starship Trooper by Yes, because Yes is just the best band ever. And it fit. It was so good. Turner Falls, I drive from Dallas to Tulsa. That's not bad. I used to live in Greenville, actually. So if you used to drive from Dallas to Tulsa, you might have been through Greenville. It's on the highway to Texarkana. If you're ever passing through, okay, go to Oviedo, Taqueria Oviedo in Greenville, Texas. Best taco Sal Pastor I have ever eaten. There are bars on the window, and you will be the only non-Hispanic person in there. All you need to know is the magic phrase, Tres tacos al pastor, por favor, con harina. That's with a flour tortilla. Just. Okay, I will say, top 5 food state overall. Don't ever get Mexican food here because it's trash. Hawaii does not know how to make Mexican food. Bro, I went to this taco place in Manoa. It was fucking tragic. There's great food here. You want great Chinese or Japanese or Korean food? They got it. Vietnamese food? Excellent here. Polynesian food, Filipino food. Oh my God, Filipino food. Excellent. Hawaiian food, even fusion food, great. You want Mexican food in Hawaii? No. It's not good. I didn't even want to go to the place because I knew, I'm like, this is not going to be good. But it was my buddy who was from, so he's in the Navy and he was shipping out. And so he said, yeah, the Mexican food here might not be good, but I'm shipping out to Japan and it's going to be even worse there. I want to go get some tacos. And I'm like, well, okay, fair enough. So, it's one of those things where I'm not going to fight you on this. Like, we go, but it's just funny as hell. Oh man. Good times. That's nice, man. Bro, tell you what, Chemo Sutra, if you're ever bopping back over here at some point, let me know. We hang out around here on Oahu. Bro, tell you what, since if you've just been lurking, maybe you've heard me talk about this before, maybe you haven't, but speaking of from Japan, I'm importing the K van, one of those little Japanese micro vans. It's going to be a 94 Subaru Sambar. Shit's going to be gas, bro. It's going to be awesome. I'm stoked on that, like, genuinely. It's going to be here in about a month's time. I'm going to get it. I think it leaves Osaka mid-January. It gets here like 3rd week of January. I'm pretty freaking excited about that. That's going to be good. So, Chemo, did you just live on the Big Island or did you live in Oahu as well? Like, did you live in more than one island? It's good to know, though, about Molokai. That'd be pretty cool. I didn't know you were planning on that. Oh, yeah. No, I'm stoked on that. So, I went back and forth on this for a while because one of the things I really like doing here, and I've actually made a video or two on it, is proving, hey, yes, the cost of living in this state is extremely high. It is by far the highest in the country. However, you can live here on 25 to 30K if you're disciplined. Part of that means not owning a car, but you can live on Oahu at least. Can't really speak for the other islands, but you can live on Oahu without a car for under 30K a year. You do have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to learn to ride a bike, but you can do it. Family's from Oahu, then I moved to the mainland, then Kona, now I'm back in the mainland. Oh, okay. So yeah, all right, well then you know. So I Actually, I live. I don't want to say exactly where I live, but I live. I don't live in the town. I guess technically, I'll put it this way, because you'll know that you can decode exactly where this is. Um, I technically live in Honolulu city limits. I wouldn't say I live in the town, but the area I live in is notorious, especially around here, for all the wrong reasons. And it's not Kalihi and it's not Waianae. It's not a crime thing, it's an environmental thing. I'm going to say, is the Navy done fucked up? I live near that. You instantly will know. I guarantee you, I gave way too much away there. You're going to know exactly where that is. Don't know how I got by on minimum wage back in the day. Did it somehow. Bus tickets and bike rides, man. That's like the amount, like the cost of living here is already, it's just high for everything. But right, the three most expensive parts of any person's budget is housing, travel, and food. Food is, you really don't want to compromise on that unless you absolutely have to. But there are ways to eat for cheap. I know how to do it. Transportation, this one blows my mind that on Oahu especially, so many people insist on driving trucks. Like, I get it. If you live in Molokai or the Big Island, totally get it. Drive the lifted Yoda. You want something that's going to be dependable, reliable, and rugged, that can go off-road. But bro, you live on Oahu and you're driving your lifted Yoda around. It's a pavement princess. Where are you going to take it? You're going to drive on Kaena Point? Like, that's okay. You've got 3 miles of off-road, you know, to take your lifted Yoda on. Meanwhile, you get to drive on some of the worst roads in the country, with some of the worst traffic in the country, with some of the highest gas prices in the country, in a vehicle like, again, no hating on the Yoda, but like the Tacoma is known for having a terrible ride. Like, that's one of the, hell, it's almost a meme about it. You're telling me that's the vehicle you're choosing here? Why? Used to live by Radford and moved off California. Oh my god, bro. I when I go to work, I go right by Radford High almost every single day. Bro, this is hilarious. You know exactly where I live. That's funny. That's great, actually. No, it's it's one of those things. It's like, okay. It's one thing if you've got the money to flaunt that you got the lifted Yoda. Okay, fine. I think it's a stupid way to spend your money, but on this island, but fine. But if you're gonna complain to me about high cost of living and then drive around in a 15 miles per gallon gas guzzler that you don't need, some of that is self-inflicted. It is a small world. You go everywhere in a Ford Focus. Yeah, that's badass. I respect that. But it's like, even here, you know, if you want to cut down on transit costs, the bus is slow. It is, because it gets stuck in the same traffic that everything else. If more people rode the bus, it would be faster because it would get stuck in less traffic. But the fastest way to get around here, get yourself one e-bike. That's what I'm saying. The e-bike, and I'm noticing now I'm conscious of it because I'm talking to someone else who's been here. My coworkers speak a ton of Pidgin, and because I've moved so many places in my life, it's starting to wear off on me a bit. Like, I've noticed I'll throw in one, or I'll throw in shoots sometimes. Like, if I'm, you know, finishing a phone call, I'll end it with shoots sometimes. So it's when I lived in the Deep South, the Southern twang kind of, you know, wore off on me a little bit. Like, but Salt, yeah, riding for 2 hours to go to Salt Lake to KCC. That's where is KCC? Is that, oh, that's community college. Okay, yeah. That's not out of KCC. That's the one in the town, right? Not Kapolei. No, I'm thinking of UH West. Never mind. Ignore me. But yeah, Salt Lake to KCC. So did you get yourself one of these electric bikes? And I know the guy in Kalihi who sells them. He's a good dude. Actually, I got some stickers It's Aloha e-bikes. You get yourself one of those. And now, if you don't own a car, this is great. The state of Hawaii, so this applies on any island, will give you a $500 rebate towards the purchase of an electric bike. So I got that. And was it a cheap e-bike? No, but compared to the price of owning a car, and I could whiz around on, 20, 25 miles an hour on that thing. I get, under normal usage, probably 60 miles of range. But like when I'm going to do this ride around the whole island, I'm going to stick around 13, 14 miles an hour. What that's going to mean is the battery lasts forever when you do that. Kapiolani. Okay. Yeah. That's, I know where that is. That's right. Yeah. That's in the heart of downtown. That's not bad. Oh yeah. Starts with, yeah. That gets heavier. Nice. And you don't get stuck in traffic too. Exactly. Oh my God, dude. I will say, I've gotten some dirty fucking looks before. Cause right now, because HDOT is retarded, they have taken, right. They want to make North King fucking bike route, which is dumb. They shouldn't do that. Just leave that for the cars. But they have the Middle Street bike path. So you take the Nimitz bike path all the way past Mapuna, and then it stops at Middle Street. And you used to be able to turn left and go up to North King, but they've put a bunch of construction equipment on the bike path. You can't use it, it's blocked off. So it's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to get through Kalihi? And what I've found, the safest way to do it is to take the opposite end of the Nimitz path, cross over at Pu'uloa onto the Mackay side of that road, and ride on the shoulder of Nimitz, and you end up whizzing by traffic because Nimitz gets blocked the fuck up, and you oh man, I've gotten some angry looks before doing that, and it's like, I mean, you could do it too. Hey, look, I'm doing this on a bike and whizzing right by you. If I was in a car, I'd just be making the traffic even worse. It's near Diamond Head. Yeah. I mean, what you want me to do? Look, what I would love to do is just ride on Dillingham. But because they're putting the fucking rail there, Dillingham is a chocolate mess right now. It's so bad. Okay. I actually had to do it because I was coming home from the Costco there in Ely today. And riding on Dillingham, man, this happened a few months ago. Before I understood how bad Dillingham was, I'm like, oh, perfect. I just ride on Dillingham Road. I looked on Google Maps. This is like May when I moved here. I've only been here for 7 months. Again, I'm out here for work. But fucking riding on Dillingham that first time, bump, because it's just been torn to shreds. And there are cops sitting there along the road. And I noticed one of the cops, and I looked over at him, and I missed a pothole. And I went wham right on that pothole, racked me square in the nuts, and I watched the cop bust out laughing. I'm like, you asshole. I would laugh too, but you asshole. Yeah, no, it's a shame, honestly. I really like Kalihi. There's a ton of good food there, like restaurants wise. Rent is cheaper. There's actually some killer gyms there too. Like Iron Hawaiian's pretty good. Mana Barbell's pretty good. Yeah, you got homeless people. Yeah, the crime rate's a little bit higher, but like they're gonna pick on someone smaller than me. I don't have to worry about that too much. They're gonna take one look at me, especially if I come strapping. Got me one machete, but I use this for bushwhacking trails. But if I really needed to, that would be enough persuasion to keep people to fuck off. But the trouble is there is no good way to get through Kalihi to the Nimitz bike path right now. It's because even if you take the Nimitz bike path from Middle Street, between Middle Street and Pu'uloa, it's fucking underwater half the time because of the king tides. And not to mention it's where a huge homeless encampment is there on Mapuna, which means it's not just water that you're going through. You're going through shit water. And it's disgusting. It's homeless everywhere. Yeah, I mean, used to work at that Costco. Bro, Costco Ely that is a madhouse. I went there today, actually. Got me, bro. Got me. This is gonna make you. This is gonna make you remind you of home. Got me some of these because my bro lives in Texas, and when he came out here, he fell in love with the Aku chips and the jerky. And my favorite, I like the Aku sticks personally, but you got to refrigerate those. But those two, I'm gonna send him that as a little Christmas gift. At this point, it'll be a New Year's gift, but who cares? Yeah, it's the busiest Costco in the world, and it has a bike rack for 3 bicycles. Really, Costco really kind of implicitly saying, really, you're coming here with the bike? And I'm like, you bet your ass I'm coming here with a bike. I get the funniest looks when I do that. Like today, I was just loading up my side saddlebags, and they're like, I was watching, because it's the bike rack is right there next to all the food court tables. And so some of the guys are just, oh, hey, how much that bike cost? How many miles of range you get on it? These are standard questions. They're like, so you make Costco runs on that thing? I'm like, yes, sir, I do. It's like one bike rack that's like the width of not even my wingspan. It's like this wide. You put 3 bikes in it. No, I'm doing that for my bro. I love my brother. He's so awesome. Actually, he will be, I don't think it's come out yet, but he will be doing a video based on some stuff we did on the Big Island and here in Oahu. Like we went and jumped Kapena Falls, and so he's gonna do a video with. He got drone footy of that. We did Waimea Bay Rock. One of my friends who is a diver was like, "Bro, you should go do the leap of faith, the China walls." I'm like, "No." Look, I enjoy a good cliff jump, but 80 to 90 feet, that's a good way to die. It's not worth it. I'm not going jumping off the fucking China walls. No. The fucking water there, if the current's wrong, your ass is going to die even if you do land it successfully. I don't want to get swept out to sea. Fuck that. It was the same thing. We wanted to go cliff jumping at South Point on the Big Island. We were talking with some of the local fishermen down there, and the current was looking pretty gnarly, and we were watching because none of the locals were getting in. They were all just fishing and chilling. They're like, yeah, we wouldn't recommend doing that today. And we're like, yeah, probably not. Yeah, it's one of those things. So like I jumped Maunawili Falls a few weeks back, and it's another thing. Like I watched a local do it first, because with Maunawili, sometimes that pond at the falls is deep enough. Sometimes it's been dry. That fucker is 8-9 feet. You're jumping from that fucking cliff. That's a good way to bust a knee or an ankle. You did it once? Wait, okay, you did South Point? Bro. Fucking world star over here. Killer, man. You have to time it right, but even then it's scary. Yeah. Well, apparently there used to be a rope ladder there. The fishermen would maintain, but it was under the premise that the people who jumped would actually, pull it back in at the end of the day, and then they never did, and the ladder broke. The fishermen are like, nah, fuck that. We're not fixing this for you. South Point, you were in high school. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, it's a cool flex to have done it, but looking back, it's like, God, that was unsafe. I know there's another jump like that. Actually, it might be on Lanai where, was it King Kamehameha as a test for, maybe it was one of his generals. I don't know if it was the king or one of his generals, had his men, his bravest soldiers, jump off like this 45 foot cliff. And it's like, this is the test to see if you could be a warrior in my army. How based is that right there? The ladder is still there when you did it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the ladder's gone now. There are bits of it that are still there. You can tell there was a ladder there. It's in pretty poor shape now, I'll put it that way. What's left of it. Oh man. This is awesome. We all did pass on that. My bro was super bummed. He was more excited about it than I was, and I'm pretty down for jumping, but he was really bummed about it. it was a pity, but can't complain. Had such a good time on the Big Island. Had went picking fresh. We were walking by one place. There's we went, just rented a little Airbnb because there's too many of us to where a hotel would make sense. So we rented an Airbnb near Pahoa, and we on the property there were like fresh starfruit trees, like a fresh starfruit, and went and picked those. Had that for breakfast. It was good. Glad I joined the conversation. No kidding. Bro, I was like meaning for this to be like a 10-minute stream. This is what happens though. When someone interesting comes by, all of a sudden, this is this what you and the locals call talking story there? I gotta give you a little shit. Yeah, man. As for living out here, all right, let me ask you this much. Sounds like you enjoy it in Texas, but if cost was no object, would you want to move back here? Let me ask you that. Fruit trees and plants are just growing every... Yeah, because it's a 12-month growing season. There is no winter here. Like, it's December 21st, and I'm shirtless, and it's like 80 degrees in my apartment, and it's also 80 degrees outside. Dude, I do love that. Hell, my coworker brought in fresh avocados. I got some in my fridge. I was going to eat them tonight, but ended up going down to the pool, and more friends were grilling ribs and shit. They're going to Coalina tomorrow, so I might end up going out there that way. I wouldn't... Coalina is not normally my first favorite gym or beach that I go to, but if friends are going, why not, you know? It's okay in Texas. I would totally move back home. I mean, I love Texas. I lived there for a long time. Work keeps you there. Yeah, I get that. I will say I'm rapidly reaching the point of financial independence to where I can retire even here. And if I wanted to, if I wanted to retire here, I'd need to cut back on my spending a bit. But if I work like another 2 or 3 years, I don't even have to do that. But I understand that, and it's such a shame that a lot of locals and a lot of Hawaiians have had to leave due to purely economic reasons that are purely preventable. If this island built better bike infrastructure, if this island had a little bit more permitting since you've built the goddamn boondoggle that was the rail station, since you've built it, you might as well allow the developers to build as much housing as possible near the train stops, so that way people will actually ride the damn thing. If you got rid of the rusting hulk of Aloha Stadium and actually built housing there, if you did those 3 things, you could actually bring down the cost of living at least a little bit. And then if you got rid of the fucking Jones Act, that needs to go, and Young Brothers needs to be federally investigated, because what they do is criminal racketeering as far as I'm concerned. I don't know how on earth Young Brothers has managed to secure themselves a quasi-monopoly controlled by the state. Like, that's fucked up. You're gonna speak pigeon. I'll sound like a Texas Ranger. Dean logs in, asking me if I'm Tom Brady. No, Tom Brady failed at having a marriage. I'm smart enough to know not to get married. Difference. Tom Brady is proof, though, that young gentlemen do think very, very long and hard before getting married. Because if Tom Brady couldn't keep a marriage going, what chance do we schmucks have? It's growing on me here. Yeah, well, there's a lot of other good shit to do in Texas. Again, Chemo, you let me know where in Texas you are. It's a big place, but if you haven't done Schlitterbahn, that one's worth going to. And then once you've done Schlitterbahn, it's a water park. It's touristy. But go and tube the Comal, the Guadalupe, and especially the San Marcos. Because the San Marcos is where Texas State is. And Texas State is the party school of Texas. It's where all the frat daddies go. So there are going to be college bros chugging beers and tubing down the San Marcos pretty much... definitely all summer long, usually in the spring and fall too, because it's still pretty warm. I'd say March to November, honestly, you'll see people tubing the San Marcos. That's a good time. Other good ones, Fort Worth Stockyards. If you haven't been there, you want some yeehaw, you get some at the Fort Worth Stockyards. There you go. Close enough. It's speaking of. See, I will say credit to one thing about Hawaiian is because, or right, in general, because Hawaiian was not a written language until contact with the Western world. Everything in Hawaiian is written exactly how it sounds. Yes, you know, humu humu nuku nuku apua'a is a long fucking word, but it's spelled exactly. There's no silent letters there. You don't have to worry about that. Like, even any long Hawaiian name, yeah, it's long, but you don't have to worry about misspelling it. Like, spelling Hawaiian words is super easy. Saying them is a little bit harder. I'll say that. Yeah, Schlitterbahn's good. Couple other good things around there. If you haven't been out to College Station, that's a fun time. I might be biased there because I am an Aggie, but okay, this is another one. Because if you spent time in Oahu and the Big Island, you like high school football is a big deal here. High school football is even bigger in Texas. That's like here, Texas, Florida are really the only ones where I've seen high school football get this intense. It's a lot of fun. Definitely recommend checking out a high school football game or two. Some of the high school football stadiums in and around Dallas, like you go to Allen High School or you go to the northern Dallas suburbs, like anything in Collin County or Denton County, are nicer than the stadium UH Manoa plays in. That's and it's not just UH Manoa. There's quite a few other FBS programs I would say do not have stadiums as nice as a couple Texas high schools. It's crazy. Dude, it is. It is. It's crazy. Friday Night Lights is a documentary, man. King of the Hill, also highly quality. Okay, if you never watched King of the Hill growing up, go and watch King of the Hill. Because I remember this. We moved to Texas for the first time when it's 2006, so I would have been 11. So I would have been about Bobby Hill's age. And you live in Dallas, drive by the Denton High School? Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's awesome, because I got some homies. My bro lives up in New Delhi. That is Richardson. He lives among the if you smell curry, he's nearby. Like that's generally where we joke about that, because my brother just lives. My brother lives in the most like Indian part of Dallas. But no, you go up to Plano, Allen, McKinney. Those are Farmersville, fucking massive stadiums. Yeah, get up to, but I got tons of homies in and around Dallas. This is a lot of good. If you're looking for some friends that like having a good time, I'll hook you up on that one. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to do in Dallas. Trying to think of other good things to do. Hiking wise, there just isn't that much in DFW. That's the only thing that kind of sucks about Dallas. Outdoorsy shit, you got to drive a while. You go near Granbury or Glen Rock, southwest of Fort Worth. There's some great lakes there. You can do cliff jumping off of some of those. There's a big Indian population here. Surprisingly, polys too. It shouldn't surprise. I mean, so Dallas is economically, it has been pretty much nonstop booming since the 1980s, and as a result of that, it's going to attract a lot of migrants and people from, the Polynesian parts of the world and India, East Asia, for sure. The upside of this is if you want to, if you want a chicken tandoori or a chicken vindaloo, God, you're not going to find a better place for it than Dallas, specifically Plano or Richardson. But the shows, my brother, he went to UTD for a while, and joke, oh my God, there were foot wash. Come on, get in focus. Thank you. There were foot wash stations outside some of the fucking classrooms. It was like, oh my God. I remember this one time we were walking through and we went by this one computer lab, and this stench of Marlboro Reds, curry, and BO is so goddamn strong coming off of this one Indian dude, man. Oh, it was horrific. They're good people, man. They work hard, and the food is fantastic, but goddamn, I feel like I'm being racist here, but some of the smells on that campus, Jesus Christ, those are computer engineering students usually. They're gonna be comp sci guys. They're gonna be the computer nerds and the engineers who usually hygiene is not a strong point already among that group of people. But you mix the curry and the tobacco in there, and oh my God, it's horrific. God, that's funny. That takes me back. Some funny fucking memories. There's great curry spots though. They good people. They good people. Anyway, it is now past 8. I got a squat day coming up early tomorrow, and then probably going out to Colina. But chemo, yeah, dude. Oh, when I cook for sure, curry lingers. Because I'll still whip up a curry now and again. But yeah, that you're smelling like curry for the rest of the day. It's like Korean food, bro. You eat Korean food, you're smelling like garlic the rest of the day. Delicious. Oh my God, Koreans, they use so much garlic. It's fantastic. Yeah, smoking is just kind of disgusting in general. I don't smoke. That one is really, if you came of age, if you were born any later than about 1964, you have no reason to be smoking. There's still smoking places too. Yeah, I mean, there are some people who really... Now, I will grant, every so often, if I were to be offered a really nice stogie, okay, at like a party, I'll have a cigar. But dude, even after that, you smoke a really nice cigar, you smell terrible the next day. You wake up and it's the worst. It feels like you've got a cold. Oh, Korean barbecue kicks ass. There's some good Korean barbecue places here and in Dallas, actually, now I think about it. You know what? Yeah, that's good Korean. Fuck, I want Korean now. Now, I've got plenty of food. I'm excited. See good places. Great places in Atlanta, no matter how nice this stale smell is, gross for sure. Tell you another good thing out here, and this is the last thing I'll say before I need to get to bed, but bro, Simon, fire. Give me a good char siu Simon with the spicy dashi and extra noodles, and I am fucking set. Oh, that's a good shit. A little bit of that Chinese mustard in there, because it clears out your nose. Yeah. All right, yeah, chemo. I will be live in my Discord with a VC for AMA. There's going to be some spicy questions in there, just fair warning. But if you want to see me in there, I'll be doing that. If not, there's no fucking way you can find Simon. If you can find Simon in Dallas, I will be impressed. Tomorrow, if I have the time between my lift and going out hitting Coalina, I will probably do a tier ranking stream of some kind. Probably, I don't know. I'm either going to do the Luigi Mangione consultation or I'll do the tier ranking exercises consultation. The Luigi Mangione one's more topical, but there's nothing I have to say about that hasn't already been said. Anyway, that's going to be it for me tonight, y'all. as always, make good decisions. As good decisions form your actions. As actions form your habits. As habits form your values. As values form your ethos can be the guide star through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. All right, shoot. See y'all tomorrow. 6 p.m. Hawaiian Standard Time.